Chapter 53. June 2003. Kevin called me one morning and asked me if I wanted to hang out with him and David. They were going swimming in the creek. I asked Daddy and he said I could because he trusted Kevin and he'd met David. I put on blue jean shorts and a tank top, then put extra clothes in a bag with some towels and some bottled water and waited. I yelled goodbye to my dad and ran out the door when David pulled into the driveway with Kevin in the passenger seat. "Can I drive?" I asked. David pulled his sunglasses up to stare at me. "No, you're not even old enough to drive." "Doesn't mean I don't know how," I shot back, and he damn well knew that. "Get in the back seat," he grumbled, and so I did. Kevin laughed at me. I made a face back at him, and David laughed too. It was a sunny and hot day, and I found myself enjoying the company of the guys. I realized that I felt happy. I haven't felt happy in a long time. When we got to the creek, David took pictures. I figured he must have about 100,000 pictures of everything and everyone by then. He was rambling on about landscapes and high dynamic range and ISO and storm clouds. I didn't understand half of what he said. Kevin interrupted him when he noticed what I was wearing. "I thought you were going to put on a swimsuit," he said as he looked me over. "I don't have one, and who wears a swimsuit in a creek anyway?" I replied as I wondered if I liked his eyes feeling me out. "Yeah, you're right," he said. He and David were wearing jean shorts too, and both of them pulled off their t-shirts. "Your turn," David quipped as he looked at me. "In your dreams," I quipped back, and we walked into the water. The water was about waist high at that point. He snickered. "You're too fucking young for me. Besides, you're flat-chested." "No, I'm not," I said as I scrunched my face up at him. "Prove it then." Hell, I'd walked right into that one. "Show me what you got first," I snickered. I seriously didn't think he'd actually do it. I was wrong. He unzipped his jeans and pulled out his penis, and I stared with this shocked look on my face. I knew I needed to wipe the expression off my face, but damn, men walked around with those things? Wouldn't they like bounce all over the place? Oh my God, they were scary. "Never seen one before, huh?" he smirked. "You really are too fucking young." "I'm walking home now," I replied, though my eyes were still staring at his junk. He thought that was really funny, but I turned around and started walking back out of the water. Man, I sure didn't know how to handle a guy who probably wanted something that I wasn't about to give him. He was right, though. I'd never seen a man's penis up close and personal before. I didn't realize they'd be that scary. Lord, it was a wonder that Eve had managed to procreate with Adam in the Garden of Eden. "Why the fuck did you have to do that? You scared her," I heard Kevin say. "She had to see one at some point. You have to admit she's a little behind in her sex education. Most girls would want to touch it or at least make fun of it," I heard him mutter back. "Hey, come back here. I'm just being stupid. I don't want anything from you. I'll keep my dick in my pants, I promise," David called to me. Kevin caught up to me. "I'm sorry," he told me. "I didn't think he'd act that way. He says he'll behave. Come back, okay?" I relented and followed him back into the creek. I stared at David, wondering what was up with him. He'd put away his private stock. "What?" he said to me. "You told me to show you what I got, and I showed you. If you dish it out, you have to be able to take it." "Yeah, my bad," I replied as I made a mental note not ever to get smart with him again because he'd call my bluff. People are going to say shit to you, you know, especially when we play gigs. Guys are going to proposition you and get crude and show you their junk. You can't get all bent out of shape by it. Be cool about it, he advised. You got to grow up a little more in that respect. You're not a little kid anymore. Yeah, he was right. Kids in school had said some shit now and again, and I'd not gotten too bent out of shape with it. I'd been a little shocked at times, but tried not to show it. But Kevin had never said anything out of line to me or done anything crude. He'd wanted to talk about sex a time or two, but I'd always change the subject. Somehow we got over that awkward moment and splashed around the water. They went into the deeper water, but I was afraid and didn't venture deeper than my shoulders. They still laughed and joked with me, and we were having fun. About an hour later, we got out of the water and lay down on the beach towels. David got an ice chest out of the car and gave me a wine cooler and Kevin something stronger. Daddy don't want me or Kevin drinking. Daddy don't want you drinking either, I informed him. Do you always do what Daddy wants? He countered. No, I replied as I thought about it. I never thought about how little I did what my dad wanted me to do, but wow, he lectured me so much on not drinking or taking drugs. It's okay, Kevin told me as he opened the bottle and took a swig. It's pretty good. Well, little girl, are you going to stay a baby all your life? David smirked as he took a long swig of his bottle. I just looked at the bottle, debating. And when we do gigs, is this going to be part of it? Probably. Look, if you get tipsy, we'll be gone long enough for you to sober back up, he assured me. It's not like you're going to get fucking drunk on a wine cooler. Whiskey you would, but not wine coolers. So against my better judgment, I drank the wine cooler. The weird thing was that the feeling I'd had so long ago when I'd watched my dad and Mary have sex was back. I was all tingly, so I drank another wine cooler. The feeling was worse, so I staggered off in the pretense to pee. I was so aroused at that point that it didn't take a minute for me to come by myself behind a tree. Damn, it had felt good. By the time I'd staggered back to the blanket, I was even drunker. David, my dad is going to kill me, I remarked. Who's the little pansy girl now, wondering what Daddy will do, he taunted. What he'll do is kick your ass. I'm never at fault, I reminded him. He scoffed at that. Oh, just enjoy it, he replied. Lie back, get a tan, and don't worry about it. He took the suntan lotion and smoothed it on my bare arms and legs. I really couldn't have done too much about it in my drunken state. Kevin had drunk more than one of whatever they were drinking, and he was drunker than I was. I have to pee so bad, he said, but he couldn't get his body to work. I'll help you, David replied as he helped Kevin walk a few steps away. If I had been thinking, I would have watched how much that David didn't drink. I giggled as he unzipped Kevin's jean shorts and pulled out his penis so he could pee. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. One guy holding another guy's penis and him peeing. David helped Kevin back to his blanket. Want to see something else, little girl? I'll give you a little education, David remarked. What? I asked. I was about seeing double at that point. So with me watching and Kevin pretty much out of it, David took out his penis, which was hard, and started masturbating. As I watched with interest, he said, "We can have sex if you want to." I shook my head in the negative. I don't want to get pregnant, I replied, although I did want to try sex. Yeah, I wish I had a rubber, he said. Have you fooled around yet? No, have you? No. Wow, I was surprised that he'd admitted that. He was 18. We could be each other's first, he told me. I'm only 15, and besides, we don't have a rubber, I reminded him. I watched him get hot, wishing that I could have sex with him. Then he was gasping for air and white stuff was oozing out of his penis. My privates were suddenly hot again, and I really wanted to know what it would feel like to have his penis inside me. I vaguely noticed him zipping up his shorts. You brave enough to touch it? He asked me as he saw me watching him. I didn't think there'd be any harm in it. I mean, he'd already ejaculated. Yeah, okay, I agreed. He unzipped his shorts and brought his penis out. I was surprised how he felt, and doubly surprised as his limp penis was suddenly rock hard and twice as big. Suck it, he murmured. Oh, hell no, I replied in disgust. Can I touch you? I guess that was okay. I was touching him, right? When I didn't object, he unzipped my jean shorts and slid his hand down my pants. Even though it was obvious he'd never touched a woman's privates before, I was getting aroused. Can I put my dick in you? He asked. Come on, let me. It'll feel good. I really wanted to let him, but I heard my dad's voice in my head. I took my hand off his penis and pushed his hand out of my shorts. No, I don't want to get pregnant. Wait, why don't you go ahead and touch yourself? David murmured as I went to zip up my shorts. Bet you've never come before. It's fun, try it. I started touching myself when I was about 12. I had decided not to, but he said, "Hey, I'll do it with you. We can come together." Kevin was asleep now, and I was drunk enough to agree. While I had the zipper down on my jean shorts and my hand touching myself, David was masturbating again and describing how he thought sex felt. My hand wasn't too coordinated in my drunken state, and I found that it was David's sexual energy that was making me more aroused. When he came, it brought me over the edge too, and I came with a thunderous wave of pleasure. "Oh my God, I love that," I heard myself murmur. He laughed. I woke up when Kevin was about bawling because he peed himself. I rousted myself to look at him. "Don't look at me. I can't believe I pissed myself," he moaned. "Oh, Kev, don't worry about that. We were wet to begin with, after being in the water. If you're not too drunk, walk back onto the water for a bit," I told him. "Yeah, what she said," David agreed. "Just be happy you're not puking your guts up." He was still unsteady on his feet, but I was okay now, and so was David. So we walked Kevin out into the water, so all of us would get wet again. "Yeah, what's a little piss between friends?" David smirked. "Shut up," Kevin told him. "Hell, we all should have come together," David remarked. He turned and winked at me. I felt like smacking him. Our fun day had turned out to be a table turner for Kevin and I, one that I wouldn't likely forget. He had played us, that was for sure. I was now doubting that he'd gotten drunk in the first place. I was just grateful that he hadn't been one of those guys that took advantage of drunk women and raped them. I wasn't sure I'd ever get drunk again. As a woman, so many things could happen, and what was worse was knowing that when he had wanted to have sex, that I had been so incredibly close to letting him. "You'd better not ever say anything about what happened to Kevin or me," I warned him later. "I don't have a clue what you're talking about," he replied, his voice dripping of innocence. I had no idea that he would never discuss our day at all. "Hell, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what's going to happen to us if we become rock stars," he remarked. Oh my God, my dad was going to freak. I was already freaking, and I wasn't sure I could handle any of it. The really hard part was going home and pulling off not having been drunk. I did it, though, only because Daddy was out in the field for a good 2 hours after I got home, and he had his mind on other things. He also thought I was a good kid. Kevin was still out of it when he went home, but he said that his parents hadn't paid any attention to him, so they were none the wiser. Yeah, we had pulled one over on them this time. Who knew about the next? Kevin and I talked about our first time being drunk. He didn't feel so bad anymore. Since he didn't know what I'd done, I didn't tell him. I was just going to forget what happened, while he was going to forget peeing himself and David having handled his penis. Both of us agreed that we weren't getting drunk anymore. What was crazy was that he said that David wasn't a drinker. After hearing that, I knew I could never trust him. I tried to talk to David about the sexual things that had happened at the creek, but it was like he had blocked the event out in his mind. He was pretending it hadn't happened, which was all I could do too.